Welcome to the battlefield of wealth, where money never sleeps. This is Greedonomics.
Welcome to the world of Ticketmaster, a company that doesn't sing, doesn't play instruments, doesn't own stadiums, doesn't organize concerts. Yet somehow, it makes billions of dollars from almost every major live event in America. For millions of fans, buying concert tickets has become less about excitement and more about surviving a financial ambush. You wait in an online queue for hours. Fight against bots. Watch prices mysteriously climb every minute. Pay service fees. Pay facility fees. Pay processing fees. Sometimes, the fees alone cost more than an entire concert ticket used to. And the worst part? Most fans have nowhere else to go. Because in much of the United States, Ticketmaster isn't just one ticket seller. It's the ticket seller. Critics call it a monopoly. Artists accuse it of exploiting fans. Lawmakers have investigated it for decades. The US government has even filed a major antitrust lawsuit seeking to break up the company. Yet Ticketmaster remains one of the most powerful gatekeepers in the live entertainment industry. How did one company gain so much control over concerts? Why are ticket prices exploding? And is this simply capitalism? Or something many people call legal extortion? Today we're uncovering the shocking story behind Ticketmaster, the business that transformed live music into one of America's most controversial industries. This is the story of power, control, billions of dollars, and the fight over who really owns live entertainment. Title appears: The Ticketmaster Monopoly, the Ultimate Legal Extortion. Fade to black. To understand how Ticketmaster became so powerful, we have to go back more than 4 decades. To a company that started with a surprisingly simple idea. The rise of Ticketmaster. Imagine this. Your favorite artist announces a world tour. You've waited years for this moment. The pre-sale starts at exactly 10 a.m. At 9:45, you're already logged in. Laptop open. Phone in your hand. Credit card ready. A countdown appears on the screen. 10, 9, 8. Your heart races. 3, 2, 1. The sale begins. Instead of choosing your seats, you're greeted by a message. You are number 78,462 in the queue. You stare in disbelief. The queue barely moves. Minutes feel like hours. Finally, after nearly an hour, you make it through. You find 2 tickets. The advertised price? $89 each. You click checkout. Then, something strange happens. A service fee appears. Then an order processing fee. Then a facility charge. Then another convenience fee. Your total jumps from $178 to nearly $340. Before you can even process what happened, another fan has purchased these tickets. You refresh. Now those same seats are back. For $650 each. Not because the artist changed the price. Not because the venue changed the price. But because the system did. Welcome to the business model that millions of music fans say has turned live entertainment into one of the most frustrating experiences in America. This is the story of Ticketmaster, the company everyone loves to hate. Ticketmaster doesn't write songs. It doesn't perform concerts. It doesn't own recording studios. Yet it sits between nearly every major artist and millions of fans. Every year, it sells hundreds of millions of tickets. Every click, every booking, every fee generates billions of dollars. To supporters, Ticketmaster is simply a technology company handling an incredibly complex job. But to critics, it's something else entirely. A company that built such overwhelming control over live entertainment that many people believe it has almost no meaningful competition. For decades, fans have complained about outrageous fees. Artists have accused the company of abusing its power. Promoters have claimed they were forced into unfair deals. Even politicians have questioned whether one company became too powerful. The accusations have grown so serious that the US government eventually stepped in, arguing that Ticketmaster used its dominance to squeeze competitors and limit consumer choice. But here's the question. How does a ticketing company become one of the most powerful businesses in entertainment? How can a company that never steps onto a stage earn more from concerts than many performers themselves? And why do millions of fans keep paying? The answer isn't simple. It's a story spanning nearly 5 decades. A story filled with billion-dollar mergers, corporate strategy, exclusive contracts, government investigations, and one controversial business model that changed the live music industry forever. This isn't just about concert tickets. Think about the last time you bought tickets online. Maybe it was for a concert, a comedy show, a basketball game, a Broadway musical, or a music festival. Chances are, you ended up on Ticketmaster. Not because you chose it. Because there wasn't another option. In many cases, the venue had already signed an exclusive agreement. If you wanted to attend the event, you had to buy through Ticketmaster. Whether you liked the fees or not. Whether you agreed with the pricing or not. Whether customer service was good or bad. You had no real alternative. That's exactly why critics argue this isn't just about expensive tickets. It's about control. Control over artists. Control over venues. Control over promoters. And ultimately, control over the fans themselves. The bigger question. Every industry has dominant companies. Amazon dominates online shopping. Google dominates internet search. Apple dominates premium smartphones. But when one company controls access to live entertainment, where should the line be drawn? Is Ticketmaster simply the result of a successful business strategy? Or has it crossed into monopoly territory? And if competition disappears, who protects the consumer? These questions have sparked lawsuits, congressional hearings, and nationwide debates. Today, we're going to uncover how Ticketmaster rose from a small startup into a corporate giant that many believe controls the entire live entertainment ecosystem. We'll explore the mergers that reshaped the industry, the hidden economics behind ticket prices, why dynamic pricing has become one of the most controversial practices in entertainment, and why the US government is now trying to challenge one of the biggest companies in the business. Because this isn't just the story of Ticketmaster. It's the story of what happens when one company becomes the gatekeeper between millions of fans and the moments they'll never forget. Coming up next. Before Ticketmaster became the most powerful name in ticket sales, it was just a small company with a simple idea. So how did that small startup end up controlling so much of America's live entertainment industry? Every giant monopoly has an origin story. Ticketmaster's didn't begin with greed. It began with convenience. Back in the 1970s, buying concert tickets looked nothing like it does today. There were no apps, no online queues, no digital wallets. If your favorite band announced a concert, you had one option: drive to the venue or to a local ticket outlet and wait. Sometimes for hours. Sometimes overnight. If tickets sold out before you reached the front of the line, you went home empty-handed. For fans, it was frustrating. For venues, it was chaotic. And for promoters, it was expensive to manage. That inefficiency created an opportunity. A simple idea that changed everything. In 1976, a small company called Ticketmaster was founded with a straightforward mission: make ticket sales faster, more organized, and easier to manage using computers. At the time, this was revolutionary. Instead of keeping paper records, venues could use computer systems to track available seats in real time. Fans no longer had to rely entirely on box offices. Tickets could be sold through multiple authorized outlets. It wasn't glamorous, but it solved a real problem. For several years, Ticketmaster was just one of many companies competing in the ticketing business. Nothing about it suggested it would one day dominate an entire industry. The real business was never tickets. Most people assume Ticketmaster's product is the ticket. It isn't. The real product is access. The company understood something its competitors didn't. Winning customers wasn't enough. To control the market, it needed to win the venues. Instead of competing for individual buyers, Ticketmaster pursued exclusive long-term contracts with arenas, theaters, amphitheaters, and stadiums. If a venue signed with Ticketmaster, every major event hosted there had to use Ticketmaster's system. Fans couldn't choose another ticketing platform. Artists couldn't easily choose another ticketing platform. Promoters often couldn't either. The decision had already been made before a single ticket went on sale. That strategy quietly transformed Ticketmaster from a ticket seller into a gatekeeper. Growing through aggressive expansion. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, live entertainment exploded. Rock concerts became stadium events. Major tours generated millions of dollars. Sports leagues expanded. Festivals became bigger than ever. Where there was live entertainment, there was money. Ticketmaster moved aggressively. It signed more exclusive venue agreements. It expanded into professional sports. It entered theaters and performing arts. It invested heavily in technology, making online ticket sales possible as the internet grew. By the late 1990s, Ticketmaster had become the dominant name in ticketing. Its website became the first stop for millions of fans. But with greater power came greater criticism. The Pearl Jam Rebellion. One of the earliest and most famous challenges came from the rock band Pearl Jam. At the height of their popularity in the mid-1990s, the band publicly accused Ticketmaster of charging excessive service fees and using its market power to force unfair terms on artists and fans. Rather than quietly accepting the system, Pearl Jam fought back. The band tried organizing tours without Ticketmaster. They searched for venues that weren't locked into Ticketmaster contracts. It sounded simple. In reality, it was almost impossible. Many of the largest venues in America already had exclusive agreements with Ticketmaster. Without access to those venues, planning a nationwide tour became a logistical nightmare. Some concerts had to be canceled. Others were moved to smaller locations. The band soon discovered that avoiding Ticketmaster wasn't just difficult. It could threaten an entire tour. The message was clear. Ticketmaster's influence extended far beyond selling tickets. It had become deeply embedded in the infrastructure of live entertainment. The internet changed everything and nothing. As the 2000s began, online ticket sales became the new normal. No more waiting overnight outside stadiums. No more standing in endless lines. Now fans could buy tickets from home. At first, it felt like progress. But a new problem emerged. Service fees grew. Processing fees appeared. Convenience fees became standard. Consumers wondered why buying a digital ticket often included multiple extra charges. Ticketmaster argued that many of these fees helped cover technology, venue operations, staffing, and distribution costs. Critics responded that the pricing lacked transparency and left fans feeling misled when the final cost was much higher than the advertised ticket price. At the same time, Ticketmaster continued strengthening its relationships with major venues across North America. By the end of the decade, it had become the undisputed leader in primary ticket sales. Yet something even bigger was about to happen. A deal that would change the live entertainment industry forever. The billion-dollar turning point. In 2009, Ticketmaster announced a merger with Live Nation. On paper, it looked like a merger between two successful companies. In reality, it combined two different kinds of power. Ticketmaster already controlled ticketing. Live Nation was one of the world's largest concert promoters and also operated numerous venues. Together, they wouldn't just sell tickets. They would help promote concerts, work with artists, operate venues, and sell the tickets for those same events. For supporters, it promised a more efficient entertainment industry. For critics, it raised an alarming question. What happens when one company controls almost every step of the live concert business? That question would soon ignite years of legal battles, government scrutiny, and accusations that the merged company had become too powerful. The billion-dollar turning point. In 2009, Ticketmaster announced a merger with Live Nation. On paper, it looked like a merger between two successful companies. In reality, it combined two different kinds of power. Ticketmaster already controlled ticketing. Live Nation was one of the world's largest concert promoters and also operated numerous venues. Together, they wouldn't just sell tickets. They would help promote concerts, work with artists, operate venues, and sell the tickets for those same events. For supporters, it promised a more efficient entertainment industry. For critics, it raised an alarming question. What happens when one company controls almost every step of the live concert business? That question would soon ignite years of legal battles, government scrutiny, and accusations that the merged company had become too powerful. By 2009, Ticketmaster had already become the biggest name in ticket sales. But there was still one part of the industry it didn't fully control: the concerts themselves. And that's where Live Nation came in. Who was Live Nation? If Ticketmaster was the company that sold the tickets, Live Nation was the company that made many of the biggest concerts happen. It promoted tours, negotiated with artists, booked venues, handled marketing, managed sponsorships, and operated or had relationships with hundreds of venues around the world. In simple terms, Ticketmaster controlled how fans bought tickets. Live Nation controlled many of the events people wanted to attend. Separately, they were already industry giants. Together, they could become something much bigger. The $2.5 billion merger. In 2009, the two companies announced plans to merge in a deal worth approximately $2.5 billion. The proposal immediately raised alarm bells. Consumer advocacy groups questioned whether the merger would reduce competition. Independent promoters feared they would struggle to compete. Artists worried that one company would gain too much leverage over live entertainment. Even U.S. lawmakers demanded answers. Their concern wasn't just about ticket sales. It was about vertical integration. What is vertical integration? Imagine a movie studio that produces the movie, owns the theaters, sells every ticket, controls the advertising. Now imagine trying to compete against that company. That's the concern many critics had. After the merger, Live Nation Entertainment could influence multiple stages of the live entertainment business. Promoting major tours, managing relationships with artists, operating or partnering with venues, selling tickets through Ticketmaster. Critics argued that when one company has influence across the entire chain, competitors may find it much harder to enter or survive in the market. Supporters, however, argued the merger would streamline operations, reduce inefficiencies, and improve the experience for artists and fans. Government approval with conditions. The U.S. Department of Justice didn't approve the merger without hesitation. Regulators investigated whether it would violate antitrust laws. Ultimately, in 2010, the merger was approved, but with conditions. Those conditions included requirements intended to preserve competition, such as restrictions on retaliating against venues that chose competing ticketing services and the licensing of certain ticketing technology to another company. The goal was clear: allow the merger, but prevent the new company from using its size to crush competition. At least, that was the plan. The critics say the opposite happened. Over the following years, critics argued that the promises of increased competition never fully materialized. Many large venues continued using Ticketmaster. Competitors struggled to gain market share. Consumers kept paying high service fees. And many fans felt they had little choice but to buy through Ticketmaster if they wanted to attend major events. Regulators also revisited concerns about the company's conduct. In 2019, the U.S. Department of Justice announced that Live Nation had violated aspects of the merger agreement, leading to an extension and strengthening of certain oversight provisions. The company disputed broader allegations of anti-competitive behavior while agreeing to the modified settlement. The network effect. By now, Ticketmaster wasn't just benefiting from size. It was benefiting from what economists call a network effect. Here's how it worked. Artists wanted to perform in the biggest venues. Many of those venues used Ticketmaster. Fans wanted tickets to those artists, so they had to use Ticketmaster. The more venues joined, the more fans used Ticketmaster. The more fans used Ticketmaster, the more attractive it became for venues. It was a cycle that reinforced itself. Breaking into that system became increasingly difficult for rivals. The company's defense. To be fair, Ticketmaster and Live Nation have consistently argued that they're being unfairly blamed for problems affecting the entire live entertainment industry. They point out that many ticket prices are set by artists, promoters, or their representatives, not Ticketmaster alone. High demand for superstar concerts naturally drives prices higher. Running secure, large-scale ticketing systems requires major investments in technology and fraud prevention. Many fees are shared with venues and other parties involved in staging events. In other words, the company says it's only one part of a much larger ecosystem. Its critics disagree. The stage was set for a collision. For years, frustration simmered. Fans complained about hidden fees. Artists questioned the system. Consumer advocates demanded reform. But nothing triggered public outrage quite like what happened in late 2022. The event would dominate headlines, spark a congressional hearing, and put Ticketmaster under more scrutiny than ever before. Government approval with conditions. The U.S. Department of Justice didn't approve the merger without hesitation. Regulators investigated whether it would violate antitrust laws. Ultimately, in 2010, the merger was approved, but with conditions. Those conditions included requirements intended to preserve competition, such as restrictions on retaliating against venues that chose competing ticketing services and the licensing of certain ticketing technology to another company. The goal was clear: allow the merger, but prevent the new company from using its size to crush competition. At least, that was the plan. The critics say the opposite happened. Over the following years, critics argued that the promises of increased competition never fully materialized. Many large venues continued using Ticketmaster. Competitors struggled to gain market share. Consumers kept paying high service fees. And many fans felt they had little choice but to buy through Ticketmaster if they wanted to attend major events. Regulators also revisited concerns about the company's conduct. In 2019, the U.S. Department of Justice announced that Live Nation had violated aspects of the merger agreement, leading to an extension and strengthening of certain oversight provisions. The company disputed broader allegations of anti-competitive behavior while agreeing to the modified settlement. The network effect. By now, Ticketmaster wasn't just benefiting from size. It was benefiting from what economists call a network effect. Here's how it worked. Artists wanted to perform in the biggest venues. Many of those venues used Ticketmaster. Fans wanted tickets to those artists, so they had to use Ticketmaster. The more venues joined, the more fans used Ticketmaster. The more fans used Ticketmaster, the more attractive it became for venues. It was a cycle that reinforced itself. Breaking into that system became increasingly difficult for rivals. The company's defense. To be fair, Ticketmaster and Live Nation have consistently argued that they're being unfairly blamed for problems affecting the entire live entertainment industry. They point out that many ticket prices are set by artists, promoters, or their representatives, not Ticketmaster alone. High demand for superstar concerts naturally drives prices higher. Running secure, large-scale ticketing systems requires major investments in technology and fraud prevention. Many fees are shared with venues and other parties involved in staging events. In other words, the company says it's only one part of a much larger ecosystem. Its critics disagree. The stage was set for a collision. For years, frustration simmered. Fans complained about hidden fees. Artists questioned the system. Consumer advocates demanded reform. But nothing triggered public outrage quite like what happened in late 2022. The event would dominate headlines, spark a congressional hearing, and put Ticketmaster under more scrutiny than ever before. For years, fans complained. Artists protested. Lawmakers asked questions. But despite all the criticism, Ticketmaster's business kept growing. Then, in 2024, the biggest challenge in the company's history arrived. Not from a rival. Not from an artist. But from the United States Department of Justice. The lawsuit that shook live entertainment. In May 2024, the U.S. Department of Justice, joined by numerous states and the District of Columbia, filed a major antitrust lawsuit against Live Nation Entertainment. The government's accusation was straightforward. It alleged that Live Nation had unlawfully maintained monopoly power in parts of the live concert industry, harming fans, artists, venues, and competitors. According to the lawsuit, the company used its dominant position to discourage venues from switching to competing ticketing platforms and made it difficult for rivals to gain a foothold in the market. The government argued that reduced competition can lead to higher costs, fewer choices, and less innovation. Importantly, these are allegations made in court, not final legal findings. The case is still being litigated. Live Nation's response. Live Nation strongly rejected the allegations. The company argued that it competes in a dynamic marketplace and that the government's lawsuit ignores the realities of the live entertainment business. It also said that many ticket prices are set by artists and promoters, not by Ticketmaster alone, and that ticketing represents only one part of a much broader ecosystem. Regarding service fees, Live Nation has maintained that those fees are often shared with venues and support the costs of operating ticketing systems and live events. From the company's perspective, its success comes from offering services that artists and venues choose voluntarily, not from unlawful conduct. What would happen if the government wins? If the Department of Justice ultimately prevails, the consequences could be significant. Potential outcomes could include requiring changes to certain business practices, imposing additional restrictions on exclusive agreements, creating measures intended to increase competition, or, in the most dramatic scenario, requiring parts of the business to be separated. That last possibility is why some headlines described the case as an attempt to break up Ticketmaster. However, it's important to understand that no court has ordered such a breakup, and it's far from certain that one will happen. Large antitrust cases often take years to resolve. Could more competition lower prices? This is where opinions begin to differ. Supporters of stronger antitrust enforcement argue that more competition could give venues more choices, encourage lower fees, improve customer service, push companies to innovate. But others caution that ticket prices are influenced by many factors beyond Ticketmaster, including artist popularity, venue costs, promoter decisions, and simple supply and demand. Even if competition increases, it doesn't automatically guarantee cheaper tickets for the biggest concerts. A stadium with 60,000 seats still can't accommodate 1 million fans. Scarcity will always play a role. The future of live entertainment. One thing is certain. The ticketing industry is changing. Governments are paying closer attention. Consumers are demanding more transparency. Some artists have experimented with different pricing models. Others have explored fan verification systems to reduce scalping. Technology continues to evolve. But the fundamental challenge remains. How do you fairly distribute a limited number of tickets when millions of people want to attend the same event? There is no perfect answer. Every solution comes with trade-offs. The final question. The story of Ticketmaster is about much more than concerts. It's about power, competition, consumer choice, and the difficult balance between business success and market dominance. For nearly 50 years, Ticketmaster helped transform the live entertainment industry. To many fans, it also became the symbol of everything frustrating about buying tickets. Whether history ultimately remembers the company as an innovative market leader, or as a corporate giant that grew too powerful, may depend on the outcome of one of the most closely watched antitrust cases in modern American business. The next time you join an online queue, watch prices change in real time, or wonder why a ticket suddenly costs twice as much as you expected. Remember, behind that single purchase lies a decades-long story of technology, business strategy, legal battles, and the ongoing debate over who should control access to live entertainment. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe to Greedonomics for more deep dives into the biggest corporate empires, financial scandals, monopolies, and business controversies that shape our world. Because sometimes, the biggest stories aren't happening on the stage. They're happening behind the ticket.